welcome. I'll put the Python sub framework aside. So,
I will some. Yeah, there is.
hey, good.
Yeah, please.
Okay, so let's start. Welcome everyone to our cup build the Python CLIs 2024 does not have to be painful, featuring directly. And the painful I skipped the because actually there was a painful experience. But it can be nice, at least so we think I would like to show you. But first, who are we? So let's introduce ourselves. I'm Zaremba, I'm an application architect in Orsted. And with me there is Trisek.
Hi, I'm just Wilczyński and only Trace is his name. And I work at with services. I'm a DevOps engineer. And yeah, today it's our pleasure to talk about building CLIs. And the inspiration for this entire discussion today and for this purpose that we have big together because we used to work together quite fast. A lot of internal tools, a lot of applications that's often the easiest interface for also our users or internal users, also CLI. And we encountered a lot of the same problems over and over. We had to write quite a lot of boilerplate code before we got started coding. We had to make sure that the CLIs are kind of similar to each other so that our users are not getting confused between different projects. And yeah, there had to be a better way to do that, right? So we found a few nodes that we want to talk about today that are not our nodes. We will show about the creators of them. And this presentation will be rather high level and basic, so if you are into this kind of deep dives, you can talk to us in the corridor, we can have a nice discussion or during the question time. Our goal here is to show our learners. We have built nice side projects to learn it ourselves and to share it with you today. So yeah, what's the best way to learn the new technology that's start to use that job, right? So we are introducing today Lemur. We will not talk too much about Lemur itself. We created a CLI to just generate memes because we thought it will be nice and clickbaity enough for the conference. And yeah, here we are, so first. So shout out to the original Lemur. We didn't realize the name was taken. We found it yesterday and we are waiting for a lawsuit. So yeah. Okay, and that's coming back to our presentation. We will go into the code pretty soon, but we need to talk about the motivation, why do we need a change, why do we think you should explore those tools if you haven't already. First of all, you need to think if you build a CLI or pretty any Python project about Python itself. You will quickly find out that even if you as a developer and your team know what they are doing, you are using the same Python version, and you are communicating between each other, you will figure out that it's not so easy to explain to the user who might not know what Python is, or they might hate Python, that they should install the right interpreter, the right version, and they should somehow manage their environment, right? So yeah, that's the next topic, the environment itself. So installing your CLI for both development purposes and also from the user's perspective on their sheets to make sure that the environment is isolated, that your CLI is working properly, that all the dependencies are in there, but they are linking properly, and that they have proper versions. And it's my behalf.
And there is input parsing, so you need to parse the input, and you need to think about all different formats that users may like to provide the input in, and validate it, and make sure that we support it, or at least give information that you are not supporting it. And then obviously you would like to have help. That's also something you need to think about, remember. So when users are using your CLI, they can figure out what's going on and what can they actually do with it. And then you want your CLI to provide the life experience for product end users. So the user experience is very important bit. You probably want to have auto-completion there, nice. So that's not like to have auto-completion into CLIs. And then you want it to be free. You want it to have emojis, colors, you want it to look nice. Your users should be happy about this life if they're using your CLI. So with all this, actually, we could go on and on and on. And actually never mentioned the application logic, but finally, this is the selling feature. This is what you like to develop, your application logic. And this is the stuff, the installation, input parsing, all that would be nice if you don't need to do most of it ourselves. So at least part of it that could be taken away from us or just use whatever is there. We hope at that, again, coming back to the Python, you may expect that maybe your Python environment, so your research Python environment, is somewhat like this, and when we call to have some tools, they will don't ask to stack anything more, but we'll just make it simpler. And actually, there are tools like this. Those are the ones we are talking to today about. So the we coded here on the block is UV and Hyper. I will talk about those. But first, we'll start with UV. So what is UV? UV is a pretty nice package or project to manage everything with us. It's extremely fast, and actually you will hear from us this fast quite often, but somebody will say why it matters. Because most of the time it just looks like, hey, okay, it's just takes less seconds. But actually, as somebody matters, we'll talk about its why. It is developed by Astral. You may hear it's about Frost, that's auto formatter editor, really nice tool. It's also typed with stickers. Really cool, very cool. UV is really nice, and we'll talk about what UP does and what UP is for. So first of all, it's supposed to be one tool to rule them all: environments, dependencies, and the building packages part as well. Because we need to think about the delivery as well. So what is the environment? Well, this is the basic version. The stuff we'll talk about, not to ensure that you don't need to think about it that much. So the PNs, the PPN, all those things. Where is your white interpreter? Hopefully this can be taken away. This will be handled by UV. Then there is a dependency. So UV will just make sure to track your dependencies so we can add, install them, lock them, and so on. Then there's also building and publishing, so the way, like some form of automation when you want to deliver to the users, your CLI, or like any library, but today we're just talking about the CLI. Then UV cross-platform to lock environments. So it just prints the lock and makes sure that the libraries that are installed are the same across all the 3 machines. So that's very nice feature as well. Hopefully no longer works on my machine type of issue. And then you install a UP by a pick or set alone. So it's easy to access, actually easy to install and very effective for an end user to install. It has amazing end user developer experience. We're really delighted. We've been using it for this project and very happy with it. It's really nice. It's really clever things about what you want to do, like teach you something well. It does a lot under it to make your life easier. And then there it is. Then it's a bike task. Okay, but as I said, we'll say a couple of times, but it matters. Here you can see some benchmarks that basically it's us. So yeah, that's about UV. And then how do you get UV? You can get UV in like this, so just installing it by the installer provided from the website. As I said, you can do it with Peak. And by the way, cool side quest. If anyone is interested, we found that UV installation directly is slightly faster than the one via Peak. So if you're interested, why? Like it made the cool side quest to figure out why it takes. It does not matter as much, it's slightly slower, but it seems consistently slightly so. And with this, we can actually start on a project. And I think Stu will tell us how to do it.
Okay, so finally you'll have some code, and then we'll have some theory again and some more code. So let's initialize our project. So UP, as any other package manager you probably worked with, at least he had commands, but here we are using the most basic example, but please, we encourage you to go and try it out. There's a lot you can do just within it. It's just how you structure projects also matters, because this makes sure that you can have a unified structure across your organization, for instance. So in this case, we'll just initialize here or CLI. And what it does, it will just create a folder by creating already kind of folder, but it will create a read template, so create a hello, so our answer point. At our prior project on, or we will collect all of the settings for our different tags, right? So you might recognize already the structure if you ever use Poetry, you probably also use by project on, but this will be familiar too. With that, actually, you kept already months, and some of you might be thinking, hey, but you didn't really talk about the interpreter, the creation of virtual environments, where are all the best practices here? So with UV, UV kind of handles this heavy lifting for you already, because if we say UV run, it will look at your project, look at the preferences, make sure that you're running the correct interpreter. If not, it will actually install the right interpreter that is locked in the repository. And again, we will not talk about more advanced features, but you can load the better version, you can lock all their dependencies there. And UV, when you say run, it will every time check that you are running what you want to run mesh to. So here, Qt just takes from our environment Python 3.12, and it's created a different environment and raw file. So every time as a developer you do up, it will make sure that you are running the newest locked versions of what you have in the repository.
And this is the moment that the speed matters because UE is fast enough to run it, while all of these checks while you run your code and you don't really notice it. So that's where they actually give us speed bunkers.
They are spoiling the next point, but again, this speed and this performance, that's kind of our XML joke at this point, because I said when we start this presentation that we are talking too much about performance here and the speed of MB itself. But it's really astonishing. If you just go and try it and you are used to other packaging tools, you will think that there is a buy-in, didn't do anything, but it already finished the job. So yeah, this operation took 100 milliseconds. It's pretty fast, but because I already had some Python on my machine, it takes few and so on. So stairs. Any address for me? Let's continue. Let's add audio panels. We talked about Typer already, so let's add Typer to our project. And you can do it by running qbtyper UD add Typer. What it does is it will add the dependencies you have project on. It will create a log file to make sure that the dependency tree can be resolved reliably in the future. And yeah, in this case, it just installed 8 packages. It was very pleasant to 4 seconds for the entire Typer package, which is really to pick. But here is the killer feature again, that UV has a super aggressive, and that's actually the word they use in the documentation I did, cache, which can teach, if you for instance have multiple CLIs and your users pushing on your machine, while maintaining the isolation of environments, you will have incredible performance of initializing or running your applications because the cache will be reused between those environments. So yeah, with that, let's talk about Typer a little bit. We already added it to our projects. Shout out to Tiambo, Sebastian Ramirez. He's famous for Fast API. You might have heard already in one of the presentations was mentioned. Great projects and great open source in there. And Typer is a high-level module for building intuitive and interactive CLIs or evals to decade code of code, and it clearly relies on Python typing. We will show you in a second on code examples what's doing by that and what's actually the documentation was by that. But before we do that, let's talk about why should you use Typer, because there is argparse. You can do it without installing other dependencies, and this presentation of Typer itself is not kind of this or that. It's not a diss on argparse or from any other framework. It's free. Everything has its use cases. But Typer for us, for instance, in the corporate environment, it was very useful because you can standardize a little bit your interfaces and make sure that developers are not wasting time on frequency, and they will. So with the amazing developer experiences offers, you write minimal boilerplate code. You use type hints and input validation for input validation, and also your code's documentation is used for generating documentation for your CLI and for your end user when you use Typer. We will show you in a second. And yeah, it's based on modern coding patterns. So what we mean by that is that you don't need to modify your code. So you can wrap it very easy with Typer and create a CLI interface to an existing library that you have with our divide, the logic you would cap, or it's a free word. For instance, using the Corretos, also TV for the infactions. And with UIs, on the other end of the spectrum here, Typer creates out-of-the-box really elegant and interactive UI with a lot of colors, and this is just easier to use than the classic white text prompt tickets that sometimes have one for nothing, sometimes AI. It offers out-of-the-box features such as authentication for your users. You don't need to code it yourself. You don't need to reinvent the wheel again. It comes with automation out of the box that you can install. And as I mentioned, you can auto-generate your docs and help messages for users. Yeah. So Mateo shares code data.
So our first comment. So the code you see, this is actually code from the Hello Bus party that you see before generated by UV, and it will be code from that. So for now, we just have a function that creates Hello from Emer. That's what you see as an output before. And we just call establishing whenever we run the script. And we will add now Typer to make it our first command. So first we import Typer. And then we have another step with Hitler up. What up is like a kind of another abstraction. It is basically container for your commands. This is what holds the information about what commands you have inside your code. And that we also changed that when we distribute the bottom line of the code, we no longer run the main, we run up. So this is the entry point as well for your CL. This is what needs to be executed. And then we meet one more step. It's actually just registering the command. So up.command decorator that is decorate for that the shape I mentioned before. And now that's it. We already have factually CLI of the first version. It's not doing a lot. We're actually can add a load. Actually, we'll look at the help, not itself. Again, we'll call UB run. So this will actually run the Python. We'll pick the right file type, run the script. But we'll do now help because we already have help. So the user, it will show us calculus. The usages will show us some options. Not a lot, but already nicely formatted. So that's how to help and all that stuff. But our CLI does not do a lot, but now we are actually ready to add more stuff to it. So we can go back to Miner. So what can Miner do for us? Well, you wanted to create these. So let's create a meep command. This is a function signature, so the parameters that provide us, it wanted me to create a meme. Now, so we adopt text and so on. Other than this, we also added the tokens, this white practice, right, to that tokens. And you can see that below the code, we actually don't execute anything yet, we just pass. But our command is already a bit smarter, hopefully. So let's see what will show us. So if we run help, it gets up, okay, now we can call email create. And you can write a couple of options. You can already see what's required. Now, the nice thing is that we just provided the tokens. We didn't say anything about what it should print here. But now Tiger already knows that template name, for example, is a text. Output path is an up because we kept it as off. So that's basically how we make it slightly necessary. You already see some arguments, but it's not yet nice enough for our CLI. We want to have a bit more information for the users.
Okay, so with that, let's improve a little bit the user experience. And actually, we are nearly there with the Piper concepts that you need to marry your most basic CLI. We will introduce a little bit of focus, so we need a little different scale pair. I hope it's possible. And we will use the concept in Python called annotated types. And that might be not so user-friendly as maybe the regular approach that you saw in the past, which however will just assign default values type for objects. But this is currently the recommended way, so this is the equation. So the type annotation will not change the type of our variable. It will still be a string, so candidate name in this case is still a string, but the annotated also just adds some additional contextual information to the type. The typer then utilizes to wrap our function for the user in the CLI interface. So in this case, we want our template name to be an option. So minus template name, right? And that's what we kind of see through is type option objects here. Of course, we could also have different possibilities here. So in this case, full name will be type name. Short name we want minus a, for instance. And ASG even is D.
Oh, there's a top text, that's why we stick.
And we will also have some code, some message for the user so that they can see from the terminal what's going on with this stock option, what it can be used for, right? And that's really it. The last thing we introduce is something you should anyway be doing, so writing doc strings. And typer also takes advantage of your function's doc strings to print them out the user as the description of what this function is doing, what this command is doing. The same with the annotated typer. So yeah, we of course do it for all of our input parameters. And keep in mind, we are not writing actual function code yet, but this is really simple. It's a boilerplate that you just need to create to wrap your logic in typer, but you don't need to change the logic itself. Keep that in mind, right? So with that, what we would have if we write with uting is you would see that not only do we have the full names of our options, now everything is an option. They have shortcuts and they have really nice descriptions. And if we have some time, I can show you in the terminal how it works. Okay, I think we need to run faster. It's the plan. So now our create in command Let's focus on the actual application logic, right? So we have the full wrapper of typer. Now we can write our application or equal our module that we are wrapping and just roll it out.
Yeah, so as Krish mentioned, so far we actually didn't write any actual like application logic, any code inside of our function. It's still pass. But now we'll do it, but we'll fast forward. This part, we went up to the strip, and in this Panagram posted us quite a bit of commits, but we have a CLI, like you already did the logic there, for each piece. And I would have to go into the peak time. So now we're switching into the user bulk. Now we are the users of near. So how it will look like. So we assume we already have UV installed. And then the next step is UV tool install. What does it mean? There was before something else, now we're at UV tool. UV tool install will install it in your terminal, so it's available anywhere. So you don't need to like run it in any project, you just can type Mimer into it. And then
It will be a global command, right?
yep,
Add it to your path.
and then it specifies from, and this is a part of the distribution from our GitHub, from our GitHub repo. So of course we could upload it to PyPy, but he didn't do it, so it's on our GitHub. You can install it like this, and it's available. And then it's specify a package name, so we specify package name Mimer. And then we are not yet at the meme creation time, because what we're doing is actually now pulling the default templates. You may see it's not near create, but near templates pull default. So what's the templates? What's the bowl? So actually, Timer allows you to have sub-applications side. So you can write separate, like templates actually separate application, like sub-application side. It only comes together with the create part at the main file. So you actually can develop those applications separately and then just integrate it. But this is technically a fully functional application. So you can have a templates tool, just like this. So this is nice because you can have separate teams, or in our case, separate developers working in the same time for two different parts. It's very standalone. That's very nice. So once we have the default memes, you can actually create B. That's how it looks. It's simply Mimer create, put the arguments, and the meme you see before was actually created with Mimer.
And I thought, add one more thing to the first command here. That's from the user's perspective. Keep in mind this is the user domain here. They don't even have to think that this is Python. They just run one command and they can pull your fresh version of your application, install it as a global CLI tool without even thinking what is under the code, without thinking about isolating the environment and so on. So that's pretty fast.
Okay, from the user, that's all we need to do. And now, I don't think we're gonna go into evil time because we have 2 minutes. We can make it. It's just that we still have from a failure out of the step.
So very quick to show you how it works.
Now font size probably needs to go out.
Size is a little bit small, so now it's a terminal but a bit to that. So great idea to kind of demo like this, but let's run it must. You run Mimer, we get the full help text here. If we would run, for instance, Mimer keyegg, but we don't provide the required parameter, we have a really nice prompt that's informing us, hey, we screwed up, we didn't provide temp to him, right? So if I run Mimer and I make a type code now, yes, that's a smart mode. Oh, Cypher actually knows that it's a typo. Cool, right? I didn't code this logic. So this is a little bit about advertisements. And you don't have to write a lot of boilerplate because you have all of those features up the box. You have a nice coloring here. And you have help text like this for every subcommand you create. You properly annotate this your function definitions. With that, we can create a small U. So I've heard of the comment before because I knew we are very time. Yeah. Okay, this is not our project, but if you really, if you really zmuszczycie oczy, you can see the meter.
Yeah, that's just ask you, but maybe we need to go back to the summary.
But this is not the feature of Mimer right now. Like, in back to the summary, sure. Oh, to wrap up, yeah, we are out of time. Let's go. Mimer is not a complete project. Yeah, we just created it for fun to learn those tools and to show up here on PyCon and share our findings with you. Hopefully you found something out of it useful or inspired to try it out. Go crazy, play with it. Also go to our repository if you decide it's cheat code. Sorry for the word. Then just rework it. Just pull it and create a pull request. Contribute to it. It's just a cool set project for learning purposes to play up.
Yeah, we also try to show more things that we actually shared here today because there are more cool features, but we didn't have time. So also many interest in learning.
So let's wrap it up. Again, we will not repeat all the benefits. We will already check it ourselves. We love those tools. We found them very helpful for us, for our projects, and highly recommend you try them out.
Yep, and let's be us. Let's be Mimir, Krzysztof, and me, Mateusz. Thank you very much for your action. Feedback here also, if you like to fill in some feedback, we had is for the super short.
No, if you like, we'll like for your feedback.
Yes.
Because we want to get better at this.
Any questions we can make have commodity questions?
Over there. Is it possible to use UV for global installation for all the users of the system? Let's say we're installing Beamer for everyone.
Yeah, so what you saw in the user domain, if you run UV tool install, so install Mimir from source code repository or from a package to PyPy, this UV tool command is actually used install globally available is half tools for your users. So if you just run this one command as a user, you don't need to even carry your Android Python or run dependencies. With this one command, we really have you in your machine. So if you get back there and you run this command on your machine, you will have our Mimir, which is probably disappointing if you play with it, but that's
Sorry. Is this the answer? You feel record the versions with acid direct figure possibility to put about also please.
Thank you.